Hello Guardians, and 7 here, and with the amazing reception of my last video, the Warlock Solstice armor guide I posted is going to be in the in card as well as down in the description below. So if you're a Warlock main, go ahead and check that video out so you can see exactly what's expected for you to get the beautiful white glow. I am making now the Hunter version, and then going to be working on the Titan version as well. So thank you so much for your support. So go ahead and give that like and thumbs up for this video. I do appreciate it. Alright, so just like the same format as the Warlock one, I'll be giving you all the objectives for the armor sets and then giving you a few tips that I found out going forward on this. And before we begin too, if you are a person who has multiple characters, for my instance, I have a Warlock, Hunter, as well as a Titan. This bit will benefit you too, because if you complete your first character all the way through, you actually get bonuses and double experience, so to speak, or double rewards for your objectives on your second and third character. So you won't have to grind as long and as much, because in the stream that I had, I was able to complete all the way from the blue to purple and the white glow pretty much in the one session stream, which is about 3.5 hours, which is crazy. And that's for just double rewards. And having the third rewards is going to be even faster. So if you're trying to grind for that and get the amazing ghost shell, go ahead and do it. It's going to be much easier for you on the second and third run. All right, so with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump in, and let's go from this character first all the way to our amazing white glow, which is right here. All right, let's jump in. So after talking to Eva Levante and doing a quick mission, you have to meditate at the statue, and then you'll get your full blue set or the renewed set. So let's go over the armor requirements first. First one is do an EAZ run, which is what the Solstice event is all focused around. Get elemental orbs, and then get 20 finishers. And so EAZ run, as I said, is just the event. Just run that. You were required to run it for the helmet. Easy peasy. And then you need to get elemental orbs, which is just get kills with either an elemental weapon or just using your abilities. You can get this very passively, easy. And then you just need to get 20 finishers. And in my case, since I had doubled the experience, so to speak, one finisher actually cost 2 points. So I only had to do 10 finishers instead of 20, which was nice. And so pretty much just hold down G if you're on mouse and keyboard, which is the default button, and you're good to go. All right, next we'll move to the gauntlets. Just complete one playlist strike, and then open 10 Solstice packages, as well as to get 200 falling kills. So playlist activities, again, for those who are new to Destiny, welcome. Appreciate you coming by. Those playlist activities are is the Crucible, Gambit, as well as the normal strikes. I did an emphasis on that because if you're trying to run a Nightfall strike, that does not count as a playlist activity, and you'll still get that 0 out of 1. So just do a normal strike, either Crucible or Gambit. Solstice packages, just from the EAZ, once you kill bosses, those little packages that will appear randomly on the map, you have a chance of giving you Solstice packages. Just open 10 of them, good to go. And then Fallen have a chance of spawning in the EAZ or just in your strikes. Get those, good to go. Moving on to the chest armor, we have 2 public events to complete. Solar or stasis orbs in playlists, 50 of them, and then you need to kill 30 guardians in Crucible. And so in public events, pretty much go to a planet, look for a little symbol, good to go, and then switch to either solar or stasis subclass, get generation from those, and then go to a Crucible, get 30 guardians killed. Pretty straightforward there. All right, and then moving on to the legs, you need to complete 1 patrol mission on any planet, generate orbs of power. Again, those are generated from either masterworked weapons or your super. Those are the white orbs that land on the ground. Just run over them, get progress on that. And supers, yeah, pretty straightforward there. And then last of all, the cloak, the hunter cloak. You can complete 3 lost sectors, generate void orbs in free roam. So don't queue up for anything, just go to a planet, get orb kills, and then get precision kills. All right, so now that you have the objectives, so what I found out the easiest way is 1, focus on EAZ first. This will get you the most bang for your buck because you can get your elemental orbs, finish pretty much, get your finishers completed, generate your supers, get orbs, as well as maybe opening a few Solstice packages. And so that pretty much will cover a good 5 objectives if completed, if you do everything. And yeah, pretty much will get you a nice little boost there just to begin with. And then I would suggest going directly, after you complete an EAZ run, go directly to Crucible. That way you can get the opposing Guardians defeated of 30, get 30 kills in Crucible. You might take about 1 or 2 runs to complete, and then while you're in that playlist of Crucible, just switch to a Solar or Stasis class so you can get those orbs generated. Also, if your allies are generating those will help towards that goal. So you don't need to be generating it yourself. If other allies are running Solar or Stasis, you can just run over those as well, get them good to go. And then just choose a planet to finish up with the lost sectors, patrols, precision kills, and anything else that's sort of fallen on the wayside for any if you haven't finished any of them. I would suggest the EDZ, not the EDZ one, the beginning starting area for most players, because 1, public events spawn very quick, very often, and there are plenty of lost sectors that are fairly easy, straightforward, and plenty of patrols. So I would say just go to EDZ for most of your finishing up. And then once you're done, head up back to the tower, meditate at the statue, and we'll move on to the next part. All right, now that you got your purple gear, we're another step closer to getting that amazing white glow. So let's go ahead and see what we need to do to complete these set. So moving on to the helmet, we need to defeat 5 EAZ mini bosses in a single run. Do that 3 times. And then get 500 elemental orbs of any kind. Rapidly defeat combatants 100 times. All right, so with this helmet, it's a fairly straightforward run. Just run EAZ 3 times, plain and simple, nothing much there. Instead of 200 elemental orbs, we need to do 500. Again, another passive thing. Just get kills with your elemental weapon, abilities, pretty straightforward there. And then rapidly defeat combatants, just basically get multi-kills. So if you have a weapon that can get multi-kills, good for you. Hopefully it's elemental based and good to go. All right, moving on to the gauntlets. You have the choice of Altar, for short for Altar of Sorrows, or Override missions. Then you have Empowerment buffs gains of 20, and then you need to get 200 kills with a Void weapon. Okay, so one nice thing about this year's Solstice of Heroes is that Bungie has given us the option of running 2 events, Altar of Sorrows or Override events. Altar of Sorrows is a 5-wave based event that is located on the moon. And I crunched the numbers, and it gives you 5% per round. And so if we multiply 5 times 5, that gives you 25% bonus towards your progression. Now with Override for the Season of the Splicers event, when you complete a run, it gives you 30%. And I'm going to explain a little bit of why I would suggest running Altar instead of Override missions for that. Empowerment buff gains is just when you get elemental orbs, you get to a certain cap, your character starts to glow with that particular element, and that's called an empowerment buff. And so just pretty much just grab orbs is a underlying thing. It's just grab orbs. You'll get that passively without even trying. And then Void weapon kills, just get a Void weapon, easy, fair, pretty straightforward, not hard to understand, good to go. All right, moving on to the chest armor. Again, we have 2 options, Blind Well or Wrathborn Hunts. There's a certain percentage for that. Key fragments collected, 50. And then you need to get solar grenade kills of 50. Alright, Blind Well and Wrathborn Hunts. Blind Well is located in the Dreaming City, and it's another 5-wave based event, just like Altar of Sorrows, but it's in the Dreaming City. Or you could do Wrathborn Hunts, which is 2 seasons ago. And if you don't have access to Wrathborn Hunts, just run Blind Well. There should be enough people running it, randoms, and it should help you out. Pretty straightforward, not hard to understand if this is your first time doing Blind Well. I did crunch the numbers for those as well. Blind Well will give you about 10% per round, and so about 50% completion, while Wrathborn Hunts only gives you 25% for the High Celebrant mission, and then 20% for normal. So for those who have access to that, you would understand what I'm talking about. Key fragments are just by getting kills, and since you're part of the Solstice event, enemies have a chance of dropping fragment keys, so that shouldn't be a hard thing to get as you just play the game. And then just go to solar subclass and launch grenades. Unfortunately, hunters don't have the best solar grenades to begin with, so it's like it might take you a little bit to get those, but it shouldn't be too big of an issue for that. Now moving on to our leg armor, you get 2 options again: Europa events or battlegrounds. And then next is arc or stasis orbs in playlists. Again, playlist is just a normal strikes, gambit, or crucible. If you do anything else, it won't count. And then you need to get melee kills with an arc subclass. European events is just pretty much like public events on Europa or the battlegrounds. If you have access to battlegrounds, I highly suggest running that because it gives you 34% increase towards your progress, while Europa events are only 20%. The problem is about Europa is that their public events don't spawn as frequent as other planets, which I don't quite understand why. And so if you're waiting around for Europa events, might as well go for battlegrounds. But if you don't have access to battlegrounds, unfortunately you have to be waiting for Europa to spawn those public events. So if you go with battlegrounds, that would be your best bet. Again, arc and stasis orbs and playlists, fairly straightforward, not too much to explain about that. And then melee with arc subclass, just run with an arc subclass. I would suggest going top tree arc for the healing, and just go ham mailing things to death. And then moving on to our final piece, the Hunter Cloak. You need to do competitive PvP or Nightfalls ×3, solar orbs in the EAZ, and then you need to get 50 Cabal kills. Pretty straightforward for this one. For competitive PvP, run survival or trials, or you could run Nightfalls. For those who are new to Destiny and aren't sure what Nightfalls and are concerned about running, you don't have to run the high tier Grandmaster or Master ones. Just run the Adept version. It doesn't have any modifier, and it has like 1 or 2 modifiers. Fairly easy to go for. It's almost like a strike, but with 1 single additional modifier. And you can queue up with friends or randoms, and they're fairly straightforward, easy to go. And Adept Nightfalls do count for progress. So just run the easiest version of the Nightfall, good to go. And run a solar subclass in the EAZ, pretty straightforward. No too much explanation there. And then powerful Cabal kills. So what powerful mean is most ads will have a red bar above their head. Powerful Cabals are orange, have an orange bar or yellow. So if you're looking for orange or yellow, those are considered powerful Cabal. Get them kills, good to go. So yeah, so the easy way to do this is run the EAZ 3 times with your solar subclass first, because you need to get solar orbs in EAZ. Pretty straightforward, get that out of the way. And then what I would suggest is run Altar of Sorrows versus Override. The reason for Altar is because with those 3 EAZ runs, you probably won't be able to hit the 500 orbs completed. Altar of Sorrows has pretty much unlimited waves until you complete the objective, so you can have time to get your void weapon kills, your solar grenade kills, melee with your arc subclass. There's a lot of things you can do while you're doing Altar of Sorrows that you could probably not do in override missions, because override is limited on how many enemies spawn, while Altar can pretty much spawn unlimited enemies, so you can get a lot done fairly quickly. Then you'll just need to either do blind wells or Wrathborn hunts. Those are fairly easy. If I would suggest Wrathborn hunts because it only takes you less than 5 minutes to complete each one, so fairly fast, while the blind well takes a little bit more time, but still easy. Key fragments, solar grenades, we already covered that. And then Europa events or battlegrounds. I suggest running battlegrounds. You can probably run about one to 3 battlegrounds to get that completed, and then run Nightfalls. So everything should be straightforward there, because the powerful Cabal has a chance of spawning in your EAZ runs, so you shouldn't worry about too much of trying to purposely find powerful, because that was a passive thing. I was not even trying. So yeah, this one, even though it looks like a lot, it shouldn't be that bad if you just run EAZ first, run Altar, then run Blind Well / Wrathborn Hunts, and then Battlegrounds, Europa events, and everything, and then 3 Nightfalls. So pretty much about maybe 3, 6, 9. I'm going to go like I can't do math right now, but it shouldn't be too long to get on those things done, and everything else is just passive as you go. So good luck on that, and we are on our final step. All right, final steps of this guide. Thank you so much for staying with me and throughout this whole video. But we have some final objectives to do, and we are done and get that fancy white glow. So since I completed my Warlock already, I didn't have to complete this on my Hunter, which is nice. So again, if you're using multiple characters, you complete all the objectives on your first character, as once you get to this next step, you'll be fully completed for your second and third. So it's quite nice. But if this Hunter is your first character, the objectives are: 1, complete a Master or Grand Master Nightfall Strike. If you're not quite high enough level for Grand Master Nightfall Strikes, I suggest just running a Master. There are plenty of LFG groups willing to just carry you through. It shouldn't be that bad and get completed and done. And if you're looking for people to get help, definitely feel free to join our Discord channel. Link down in the description below. Go ahead and feel free to join. We can definitely help you. Next would be complete a raid. Pretty straightforward. Complete a raid, no biggie. But if you don't have never done a raid and you're free to play, I think the only free to play raid right now is the Vault of Glass. It takes a little bit of time to learn, but there are plenty of people again willing to teach people how to run the raid, so it shouldn't be too hard for you to complete, even if you're free to play. Next will be dungeons. Just complete 1 dungeon. Currently in Destiny we have 3. It is the Prophecy, the Pit of Heresy, and the Shattered Throne. So complete any of those, good to go. Next would be Legendary or Master Lost Sectors. You do those 3 of them. I suggest just run the legendary ones. They're a little bit challenging since you're running solo, but once you get that legendary Lost Sector completed, you can just do it 3 times. You'll know how the enemies spawn and all that, and it should be easier the second and third time. And I'm pretty sure there are plenty of guides out there on those Lost Sectors. And then last of all is 15 champions killed or 15 competitive PvPers, whatnot. So either jump yourself into survival or trials, get those 15 kills, or if you're running the Nightfalls or raids, there's some champions, you can get those. So it shouldn't be too hard to complete these last parts, but again, if you need help, definitely check the description below and join our Discord. So that is it. Congratulations on getting your white glow. Very good. Congratulations. Thumbs up for that. And yeah, that is pretty much the end of the guide. Thank you so much for watching to the end, and I will see you in our Titan video. Woo!